So we're still holding on decent price and a price range for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana. That being said, Ethereum is very, very close to upgrading all of its test nets before we move on into the official upgrade on mainnet. Maybe we're not going to see any movement like we didn't see any movement with the merge. When was the merge? I think it was 2020, maybe 2021. But we actually covered here in this channel the merge last time, which was a huge Ethereum upgrade, but we didn't see any movement. And we were around this range as well. We were around the 1800s, 1900s for Ethereum. And right after the upgrade, we didn't see anything. Ethereum became ultrasound money, like everyone loved to say at that time. Now, no one even uses that term anymore. So if we look at current price, Bitcoin is at 87,513. Ethereum is still above 2K at 2,051, XRP at 243, BNB at 628, and Solana is at 143. So that being said, let's take a look at some more data in today's video. Let's actually start with Solana itself. So we saw a 60% drop in Solana since almost touching 300 bucks, which was early January 2025. And now we're trading around this 140 range. We are above the averages, as we said in the last video. And now I see some articles popping here and there that are saying that we could be close to a 60% jump up in the next quarter for Solana, because Solana has been holding a lot. Solana has been very, very steady. So if Solana actually follows along with this mentality that everyone is saying, or these price actions that everyone is giving for Solana, we should see a huge increase in price for Solana, because even though there was a lot of rug pull happening on Solana, like with Melania coin, which has dropped like 90%, then we had Libra, which has dropped a lot as well. Even throughout all these meme coins failing and crashing, we still have a positive inflow of stable coins and stable coins in the Solana network. So Solana is still very active. There's still a lot of pump fund tokens that get created and go to like millions of dollars in market cap. So money is indeed still in Solana. We just lost a few traders, you know, along the way, people who lost a lot of money with these meme coins. But overall, Solana is holding strong in the stablecoin situation, in user situation. So the price action itself should start to reflect, especially if Bitcoin holds the current price that it has. Now, speaking about Bitcoin, again, holding above the 200 EMA, 200 moving average, but now looking at the 100 moving average. So what I personally would like to see is that we keep sideways for a little bit. That will bring in the range for the Bollinger Bands very, very close. And when these ranges become very, very close, usually you have an explosion towards one side. It could be a downward explosion like we saw right here, or an upward explosion like we saw, for example, right here. So it funneled up a lot, and it's like it concentrates and then it explodes. So that is what I'm expecting to see on Bitcoin. And if that happens, Solana would most likely follow. But will Ethereum follow that? Well, we don't know for sure, but we know that Ethereum is holding. So that is good news for us, even though yesterday was a red day and today seems to be a red day as well. But as I said last video, we don't have volume. All these days that we saw movements from below the 1700s all the way to the 2100, we had basically zero volume. There was very, very little volume compared to a few months ago after the Trump election. So that being said, we have to wait it out and see how this will affect and how the price of Ethereum will move. But you can see clearly that these two parts, the top and the bottom part of the Bollinger, are funneling up. You can see they're directing towards each other. So once they get very, very close and they funnel up right here, we will have an idea towards what side will the price of Ethereum launch. So if we actually go back right here, the fear and greed has been going up, but the altcoin season has been kind of stuck where it is. So the market is losing that fear factor that we were seeing before, but Bitcoin is still holding that dominance over other altcoins. And with that volume uncertainty and that price movement, which is a little iffy, you know, it goes up a little bit, goes down a little bit. We don't have a lot of liquidations if we look at the monetary value. So $156 million. It's not a high number compared to what we saw before. And half of it are longs and half of it are shorts. We're very balanced out between people losing money on shorts and people losing money on longs. Because again, no volume, uncertainty is high, and people are just, you know, taking shots in the dark. And if you don't want to be one of these guys who loses money because they don't know what to buy or where to buy things, well, guess what? Bitopics is still winning. We're still beating every other place where you can find stablecoin yield for your USDC or USDT. Guess what? We are killing it with 95.27 projected for the year. This is APY. So guess what? So far, which is since May 2024, last year, we have already collected 80%. So if you had deposited $1,000, you would have made $800 by now. And guess what? This is already after fees. So what you see is what you get. If you see 120, if you see 300, 400, that is yours to keep. We, of course, get a success fee. But are you even mad that we get a success fee when we have a win rate so high? You can see we have yet to see a red month since we launched both strategies. None of them were ever in the red. We still keep making money. Of course, we do have losing days, but not losing months. So that is very, very good to see. And if you want to check it out, the first link in the description will bring you to the topics where you can deposit. So my idea is to keep an eye on Bitcoin because we still have a very strong area right here that is grabbing Bitcoin's attention right below the 90,000. If we switch to Ethereum, it's pretty much balanced out between the 2100 and the low 2000. So for Ethereum, a little bit of uncertainty, and Solana is actually looking very, very good. We took out some liquidity right here at the 143, and now we have a very strong stop at the 146. So this is where we might be heading for in the next 24 to 48 hours. So that being said, I'm personally keeping an eye on Solana because, as I said before, I'm trying to cash out Ethereum and get that money from Ethereum over to Solana. I think Solana has way more potential to explode in percentage wise than Ethereum has. So a lot of people are talking about an inverse head and shoulders on Solana if you zoom out a lot, and that will bring in for the following years a growth of 1200% on Solana, bringing it above the $1,000 per Solana coin. I don't know if I agree with that whole number per se, but I do see Solana as a way better competitor percentage wise than what my Ethereum has been giving me. So most likely I'm going to be selling options on that Ethereum that I have just to keep getting back some of that money that I'm losing on valuation of Ethereum. And then once I have a little bit, we can switch to Solana. So that's what I'm interested in doing right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you got all the way to the end of the video, don't forget to interact with the video, subscribe, send it to someone who might be interested or someone who might want to check out the topics as a project. So I'll see you guys on Friday for the next one. Take care. Peace.